All right. So it appears my video about Predator Hunting Grounds has some things that are not accurate in it, and I was wrong. This one is my L, and I'm going to eat it cold. Apparently, the developers, Ilphonic, have reacquired the publishing rights to the game, and this went unnoticed for the most part. It wasn't until the video published that a lot of people were telling me, yo, you need to go check this out. What tripped me up was I was looking at the Steam games that PlayStation published, and even as early as last month, Ilphonic basically was still a publisher that had made the game, and PlayStation was still the publisher of that game, and it was in part of PlayStation's list as seen here, because I've been following and tracking very carefully as to what was going on. But today in the comment section, some of you pointed that out to me, and I just want to say shout out to you. Thank you so much. It really is quite appreciated that there are people who are looking out and saying, well, that's not correct. You need to go ahead and you need to update this. So I put an update here on the video basically pointing that on comicbook.com, there's an article that actually highlights it very well. What's actually crazy is the developers themselves, they revealed it in a patch note in April. And as I was looking at the content, even as early, or as I guess we say late as last month, basically August, the game was still listed under PlayStation. So perhaps they just could not make an announcement about anything, the Xbox version or whatever it is, until a certain date. I don't really know what all the details are, but it's really quite interesting. Now to the second part of this video, because some of you came out there and you were like, what an L take. You're talking about looking at data and evidence and you're already throwing shade. Bring it on. Let's talk. So I saw a few comments that were quite interesting because somebody said something that I thought was quite peculiar. And this is a longtime audience member, because they said something along the lines of, I'm not a PlayStation fan. I'm kind of lying about it because I'm using a family member's PSN to kind of show that I'm a PlayStation fan. Well, here's the thing. I have a Division channel that's actually bigger than the Video Game Fight School channel, just by a little bit. And I've made content there for about 8 years. If you want to ask about me on PlayStation, you can simply go join the LCN clan. We play the Division together, and ask the OGs. There are hundreds of people who know that I play on PlayStation. So by itself, there always is, someone that can actually point out that, you're basically cooking up a conspiracy theory because you want to tear down my credibility. It's okay. It's not going to work because there's no reason to lie, because I know a lot of people and a lot of people know me. If I lie, they'll expose me. They're people of integrity and they're there to basically hold me accountable. So don't worry about it. But I want to look at this particular comment that said a 1-minute research reveals the game is no longer published by Sony. This guy is the biggest fanboy. I got my information from Steam. Here I can show you that even as early as last month, Steam was still listing it as a game being published by Sony. So there was just no need for me to basically go ahead and dig around and find out that based on patch notes in April, the developers had pretty much unveiled that they were basically taking their game back from PlayStation as the developers. But I think one thing that needs to be noted in all of this, though, is as much as we're talking about this, what does this even prove? However you want to actually chalk it, this more than anything proves to me that PlayStation's exclusivity is actually a fugazi. You see, this development team were basically captured by PlayStation, and their game, for all I know, was something that they were not even satisfied with the amount of the community members that they could reach in terms of gaming, and more than likely wanted an Xbox port. And I think the only way they could do it for a game that pretty much had fallen out of, say, maybe even, as a live service game popularity, they knew going to acquire a new audience was the way to go. And so they're going to Xbox. They've been on PC since launch. They've been on Steam and Epic Games. And so Xbox was the next place for them to go, which is definitely something that we're seeing. So guess what we can do, ladies and gentlemen? We can actually add this to the list of Square Enix, where I will now sit here and make another video to show you PlayStation fans that this PlayStation that you guys are worshiping is not that special. As a PlayStation fan and a fellow PlayStation fan, my job is to wake you up and open your eyes. You may not like it. It's a little abrasive, but again, you're going to pretty much be able to one day appreciate all this work that we're doing. For the hecklers, let me tell you something. L's are natural. I'm a middle school teacher. Come stand in front of American middle schoolers and teach for a number of years, and then you will learn how to be humble. This, to me, is a fun experience. I'm happy that we pointed it out very early. And in fact, as the video launched, I think I was like 2 hours in, I had a small break and I looked at the video. I was like, oh my gosh, I missed out this one information. So shout out to the community. This is basically the way things go. Expect more videos from me about this, because this also takes the other path in terms of PlayStation's waning influence on the gaming industry. Can you imagine if your developers came to meet you and say, please let us out of this bondage that you've put us in, just like Square Enix did, where they took their luggage and they ran to Steam, and they basically are running to Xbox now, because all of the talk for the longest time that Xbox didn't have a community that could buy games is starting to somewhat fade away. Don't you see it? I see it. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. We'll continue to observe the industry, and we'll continue to see where it goes. So for those of you who may have actually taken that article at face value and, my video, I apologize to you guys for not, looking at that. That's something that I next time would take my time to do a little bit more digging. But again, I just took information from Steam, did not cross-check it with anything else. And the announcement of the developers, it was really kind of, very low key. But again, it is my L, and I hold it. See you guys soon in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon when the next Xbox game or the first PlayStation game makes its way to PlayStation. I'm hoping to be here to actually, point that out. Thanks again. Peace out.